Здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome to another coffee house video. And still trying to exactly work out a schedule for these videos. Not sure how things are going to go down. Right now I've got at least one video every week. Trying to work out the schedule, maybe one video every 3 days. But I'm not sure how much exactly you guys can handle of me. But we'll see. Also trying to come up with some new segments to this channel, but this channel is relatively new. Trying to come up with ideas and how this thing's gonna work exactly. But today I want to talk about something that's a lot more question based than what I've been talking about recently. Most of my recent videos have been here's a problem, here's what I think about the problem, here's potential solutions to the problem, or just here's what I think about something. And giving a lot of opinions and a lot of solutions, kind of sort of deal. This one's going to be a lot more questions. And the topic I want to talk about here is safety versus freedom. And I started thinking about this topic when I was watching NBC's Dateline's To Catch a Predator. And for those of you who don't know what To Catch a Predator is, basically it's a show where an online watchdog group called Perverted Justice goes to chat rooms and pretends to be 13, 14, 15-year-old girls or boys, waits for men to hit on them, and then make their intentions for sex very clear. And at that point, they invite the man over to the house, but the house happens to be like an undercover sting operation, and Chris Hansen, who's a reporter for NBC, is waiting for them, and he has their whole chat log. And then instead of meeting a 14-year-old girl, they meet Chris Hansen, and he comes out and he starts like reading the chat log to them and asking them what they're doing here, and they always come up with the best excuses. And then he reveals to them that they're going to be on national television. And then they run out of the pedophiles run out of the house, and then they get tackled by police. And like I said, I think that show is hysterical. I laugh like an idiot every time I watch the show. Maybe some people think that I might be sick or whatever, but I think it's hilarious. Just the reactions every time Chris Hansen walks out. But it brought up an interesting dilemma in my mind, because that kind of stuff would be illegal in Canada. Because that kind of stuff, they try and deny that it's entrapment, but it is entrapment. At least by the definition of the Canadian legal system and legal standard, that kind of stuff wouldn't be able to happen here. And for those of you who don't know what entrapment is, it is luring someone to commit a crime they wouldn't otherwise do. And I think that these Perverted Justice guys entrap people when they invite them to come over. They say, hey, you come over here, or and sometimes the guy is wary and he says, I don't want to come over or whatever, and says, no, come over, come on. And at that point, the guy is thinking that he's not going to come over, and but the decoy is luring him over, and at that point, that's entrapment, because he's wouldn't commit the crime of coming over and trying to solicit her for sex if she didn't lure him. And sometimes, like in the show, the guys are like wary of coming in the house. They might not want to come in the house, and then this decoy girl comes in and waves them in, and at that point, again, that's entrapment, because they're luring them to commit a crime they wouldn't otherwise do. And then I started thinking about whether or not this was a good or bad thing in Canada, that this kind of action, that they couldn't do something like this is illegal. But before I really talk about it, I just want to say something that I think they really blow up the issue of men looking for teens online for sex a lot, because I actually read some of the chat logs between these guys and the person pretending to be the 13-year-old girl, and they act nothing like a regular 14 or 13-year-old boy or girl would. Nothing like them, because some of the guys will say something like, I got in trouble and I got thrown in jail for exposing myself to people on the street. And then the decoy's like, oh, that's cool. I'm thinking, no, it's not cool. No one would say, oh, that's cool. People would be like, you're a fucking sicko. You're a fucking creep. Get away from me. Don't talk to me. And in reality, a real 13 or 14-year-old girl wouldn't have a sustained conversation with someone like this. They would probably block and delete them and never invite them over to have sex or anything like that. So they really kind of create a problem for themselves to solve. Anyway, done talking about that. What I was saying, thinking about whether or not this is a good or bad thing that this kind of operation is illegal in Canada. And I've always said that the Canadian justice system is weak, and I can't really compare it to the American justice system because every state has a different set of laws. There's no real federal law. I mean, there's a couple things like drinking age, but states have leeway in how their laws are presented and everything. But in Canada, we have a federal law. All the provinces follow the same doctrine. So I can't really compare the Canadian justice system to the American justice system because there's not an overarching one. But I've always said that it's very weak, that it's really hard for people who commit the crimes to either get arrested. It's hard for the police to get search warrants. It's hard for the police to actually, once they arrest them, it's hard for the prosecutors to prosecute them and actually get them jail time and real sentences, that kind of sort of thing. And to me, always the justice system has been incredibly weak. And one of my lifelong aspirations is to reform the Canadian justice system into something that's a little bit more hardcore, I mean, for lack of a better word. But as I was watching this To Catch a Predator stuff, I started thinking, well, maybe the job of a police officer shouldn't be easy. And maybe that's one of the reasons why I respect men of the law, people like prosecutors, people like police officers, and judges. To me, they're the most revered people in society. And maybe the reason why I respect them so much is because they have such a difficult job. And it's so difficult for them to really get that search warrant and make that arrest and follow through and get that person in jail. Maybe that's why I revere them so much, is because they have such a difficult job. And the job of a police officer should never be easy. Because if the job for the policeman is easy, at that point you really have a police state, or one of the defining characteristics of a police state. And on a side note, I don't think I hate anything more in the world than cop haters. They drive me nuts. People are like, F the police. Yeah, F those guys. How dare they keep criminals off our street and stop people from rampaging into our house and killing us. Yeah, screw them. Sorry. Anyway. But like I was saying, the job of a police officer shouldn't be easy. And that kind of led into my debate, safety versus freedom. Do I want to have more freedoms and more, ability to conceal my personal belongings and not have people rummaging through them? Not have, the police stopping me on the street and saying, can I have a look through your bag, and can I have a look through your backpack, or pulling me over and can I have a look through your car, versus safety, versus the whole doctrine, if you've got nothing to fear, if you've got nothing to hide, then you've got nothing to fear, and the police should be able to look through your house at any point they want and be able to take anything they want from you and use it as evidence, kind of sort of deal. So I'm torn, because there's good arguments for both sides. And I think personally I'm at this point erring more into the side of I want more freedoms versus more safety, because in all honesty, I don't feel like I'm being threatened at all. I don't feel like, there's going to be people who are going to come into this house and stab me, or people are going to stab me while I'm walking on the side of the street. So I'd rather have those freedoms than not have those freedoms, because I already feel safe. But at the same time, like I was saying, there are a lot of problems with this justice system. We do have, I think, an inappropriate balance of freedom versus safety. I think we've got an overwhelming amount of freedom, maybe not enough amount of safety, but I still want more freedom than safety, if that makes any sense at all. So, long story short, kind of want to know what you guys think. Do you think we should have more freedoms, or should we waive those freedoms in order to have more safety? So it's an interesting debate. It's an interesting topic. And let me know what you guys think down below. And this is going to be Joseph, East Stalin, signing off for now, and I'll see you guys later.